Is it victim blaming to tell my child that she should stay out of social media if she keeps on getting bullied online? This is a letter from a father, and he's saying, he told me that his daughter is very much into K-pop and she gets into a lot of fan wars, specifically on Twitter and YouTube. So he and his wife are actually very concerned. And one time they know that because they have already observed their daughter's mood is getting affected, the mental health is getting affected. He told his daughter that she should just stay out of social media. And the daughter told him that he is actually victim blaming, that she shouldn't be the one to be changing her behavior because she's not the one who's bullying. She's actually the victim. She's the one who's getting bullied, and it's actually the bullies that should change their behavior. So he wants to know whether it is what he's actually doing is wrong, if it is really victim blaming, and number two, what can he really do to help his daughter and get her out of the situation. Okay, first, I just want to let you know that you are correct in saying that she should stay out of social media if she keeps on getting bullied. You're right. However, she's also right when she said that it is not her fault and that it is purely the bully's fault, and that they should be the one to change their behavior and not her. Now, there is a possibility that she is also bullying somebody, or that she's trashing somebody else, but I've always believed that nobody deserves to get bullied. Even if somebody is, I think nobody deserves to get bullied, period. Unless, well, maybe unless you're a child molester or rapist or, things like that. But otherwise, nobody deserves to get bullied. She doesn't deserve to get bullied. Others do not deserve to get bullied as well. So she's right that the victim should never be the one to change their behavior because it's the bully's fault. So you're right and she's right. So two things can coexist. Two things can be right at the same time. It's the same way if you, for example, get robbed while you're walking in Skid Row or in a dangerous place. When somebody robs you, it's purely the other person's fault because he did something wrong. He shouldn't be robbing anybody. However, if you're walking down the street at night, in a dangerous street at night, and you're waving your $1,000 bills, then that's not the right thing to do. That's also a wrong decision. So it's a wrong decision to be waving your bills while you're walking in a dangerous place. But it's not your fault that you get robbed. So two things can be true at the same time. So how it's very hard to explain that to somebody who has a victim mentality. If he's already in that state where she feels like a victim, it's very, very hard to get her out of it. I remember just several people who have been complaining about their lives, and they keep on saying that this isn't how it's supposed to be, and that things should change around them. And I always tell them, even though this is not how it is supposed to be, this is how it is, and you have to deal with it. So we all have to deal with the reality of the situation. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't try changing it, but we should also be realistic on what we can really do. The more energy we spend on things we can change, then the more chances we're missing on changing things that we can actually affect and change. But that being said, one of the things that you do have to understand about K-pop fans, or any kind of fanatic on any kind of industry for that matter, or any kind of industry for that matter, it's very hard for them to hear an opinion or an advice from somebody who does not understand what they're going through. So you admitted in your letter to me that you don't know anything about K-pop, you don't listen to their music, you don't know why your child is so into it, and that mere fact would give me a clue that your daughter would probably not listen to you because she feels like you do not understand what she's into, you do not appreciate it, and you're just against what she's into. So you need to meet her at her level. I do not have a biological child, but I did raise a little girl as well who's very much into K-pop. And I think one of the things that I realized about it is that for us to stay relevant in our children's lives, it's that you just need to appreciate what they're into. You need to understand the things that they're into, because it's going to give us a glimpse of the kind of people that they're evolving into. Yes, you may be the parent and you know your child inside and out, but they do evolve. There are outside forces, outside influences that are affecting the way that they're living their life and the way that they are making decisions and the principles that they have. And for us to understand that, we do need to understand the things that they're into. So make an effort to actually understand what she's into. Listen to K-pop music, listen to the things that she's into, and see the good in that. I promise you, no matter how silly something may be, there's always something good in that. It's no different from somebody so obsessed with basketball or the Super Bowl or the NFL or a specific sport. You're so obsessed. I mean, look at basketball, for example. You watch this 10 men in the court battling over a single ball just to shoot it in a hoop. Isn't that silly for you to be obsessed with something like that? But because we're so used to that, because the mainstream has already accepted that, we don't really question that. It's the same thing for K-pop. At least K-pop is art, or at least some of it is art. But no matter um, how discriminated they are, how bad their image may be on some people, you do need to know it, understand it, and appreciate the good in that. So meet her at her level. Try to understand what she's into. Get into the things that she's into. Listen to the songs, videos of her biases, and that is when you will try. You will see. You will get a better glimpse on the kind of person that she is and why she's so obsessed in that, and that will give you a better leverage, a better idea on how to talk and communicate with her, especially on matters involving K-pop or any of her hobbies for that matter. Next is that once you're into it, one of the things that you will realize is that, as I've said, not everything is just glitz and glamour and funny things and you know shocking fashion statements and whatever. There's a lot of useful things in that you can use to influence your daughter. A lot of these K-pop artists actually are into art. They're smart. They're into charitable works, and you can use all of those things to try and influence her to do something productive in her life as well. So know what this group that she's into is into, and try to use that to influence her to do something productive with her time, to sort of redirect her energy into something more productive that is still connected to the biases that she has, or the group that her favorite group, but also productive for her. So again, look for that something that she will enjoy doing on her own, but will still keep her connected to her favorite group. And you will find that. I promise you will find that. You just need to look and understand. And if you need any tips, I'm always here. Next is that it will help if you don't look at your daughter's obsession over K-pop as an obsession, and don't look at her as a silly hobby. The worst thing that you can do to someone that's very much into something is to sort of discredit what they're doing, and to insult them for the thing on the thing that they're putting their energy and time into. So the more that you look at her in a silly way, the more that you feel like she's doing something silly and useless and obsessive and unhealthy, then she will feel that. She will feel the energy that you're giving her. So strip it off, all the bias, not the biases, but the stereotypes that you have over K-pop, and start looking at your daughter for what she really is: a growing woman, a maturing girl, and she's trying to find her place in her life. And maybe this K-pop thing that she's into could help her do that. I'm not an expert. So the last thing that I would say is that you should find somebody that can give you actual expert advice. So this is the things that I've said aren't really advices; they're more like opinions. But I do hope that that will help you. And if I could be of any assistance any other way, if you just want to like rant, if you want to know a little bit more on about K-pop, I'm always here. Just write and or DM me or whatever. And yeah, I hope that helps.